Low quality video incoming. The year of 2019, 2,019 is coming to an end. And as with every year, everyone's favorite activity is looking back the past year, remembering what their favorite things of that year was, and if they're really bold, counting them down. So that's what I'm going to do here for archival purposes. I'll be counting down my top 10 favorite video game experiences of the year. This is going up on YouTube, and then on Twitter, I'll have to, like, if I figure out how to do it, I'll have to, like, break up the videos in, like, a thread, because Twitter has that dumb time limit thing, and I'm sure this video is going to be over 2 minutes. There's no doubt in my mind. So yeah, that's how this video is going to go, with the shitty quality and the shaky cam. 2019. So first, dishonorable mention to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, which started off as something that I was wanting, that I was demanding, not really demanding, I didn't care that much, but wanting a remake of Crash Team Racing, my favorite kart racer. Came out, was interesting, it was good, interesting post-content release, ended up being bad because of weird microtransaction heavy things put in after the game was released. After a while, it was really bad look, and it really bugged me. I don't really like to complain about things like that generally, but it was weird. Also, if you get down to the nitty gritty, the physics weren't exactly right to the original remake, which I know is very nitpicky, but kind of bugged me too. I mean, it's the little things. It's the little things that count with me. Honorable mention, though, to Apple Arcade as a platform. The year of 2019, we started seeing different vehicles to play games, whether it be Google Stadia, Xbox Cloud, whatever that fucking thing is called, but also Apple Arcade. Cool for $5 a month, being able to just play high quality mobile games without the little gimmicky, bullshitty, microtransaction-y type things was a good idea. I'm still iffy about the payment method to developers who end up putting their games on Apple Arcade. But barring that, I think Apple Arcade is a dope experience. Grindstone, What the Golf, games like that, there's a lot, and I'm just kind of bundling them into this category. All super dope, cool idea. Like I said, $5, not that expensive for just, hey, you pay and you get to play these games and try them out. It's a little investment, stuff like that. So honorable mention to Apple Arcade. Now, that's those two things. Now we're getting to the actual countdown of the 10. And I should say that I don't have access to everything. And also I, can't play everything. If I did, like if I had a Switch, you sure as hell know that I would have played and enjoyed the hell out of like Fire Emblem, Three Houses. But I don't have a Switch. And I'm sure that would be in my top 10, but I don't, unfortunately. Maybe someday. I don't know. So here we go. Number 10, Ring Fit Adventure. Now, I know I just got done saying I don't have a Switch, and I, of course, don't have Ring Fit Adventure, but the concept of Nintendo making a fitness game in 2019 for the Switch with a weird little contraption, sticking the weird little controllers in there, and making like this exercising RPG game really interests me as like a concept, so much so that it gets the coveted 10 spot on my list, even though I'm not playing it. I've seen a little bit of gameplay. It doesn't matter. It's more of an idea. I like the concept of Ring Fit Adventure that Nintendo made. Make a little RPG out of exercising. And again, if I had a Switch, I probably would get this game. So there's that. I'd probably be a lot healthier too. And my downstairs neighbors would probably hate me, but that's avoided. Number 9. A game that didn't come out this year. There's a few games that didn't come out this year. That's why I say gaming experiences, not games released in 2019. Number 9, Papers, Please. Small little game I played towards the beginning of the year. On the Vita, PS Vita. Small little game I never got around to playing back when it originally came out. Oh my god, my arm. The 20, what was it? I don't even want to guess the year. I should have looked it up. Papers, Please, though, was good. Very short. I didn't play it super long, but I got to an ending. And then I kind of just put it down there. But it stuck with me enough where I thought the story it was telling was really great and interesting. And I think that if you have a soul-crushing job, that it kind of you kind of end up relating to it a bit more. It also tells a great, story of a border patrol in a fictional country. I believe it was a fictional country, but obviously mirrors real world things at that time period. And I thought it was actually very interesting. So it gets number 9. Number 8, another game that didn't come out this year, but I played it this year, which is the main thing. 2064 Read-Only Memories. I don't have a ton to say about this game. Text-based kind of reading, story adventure game. It was pretty good. It was all right. It was an okay game. The strength of the game and why it gets on my list is actually the ending. It had like a twist to it that I wasn't expecting at all, and I didn't think the game would actually take to a that wouldn't go that way. Like, I didn't think it would be something that they would approach. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil it or anything. Not super long of a game either, so if that's something that interests you. But yeah, I think the strength of the ending and the unexpectedness alone puts it on my list. So 2064, Read-Only Memories. It has an interesting story, a good cast of characters. It obviously has a message that it will beat you over the head with, kind of. It has a very strong point of view, kind of. But it's fine. I didn't mind it. I'm a person who is willing to accept ideas, whether I agree with them or not, whatever, barring some exclusions, but let's not, whatever. 7, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, again, another game that didn't come out. It came out late 2018, if I remember correctly. Finally got around to playing it this year. That's another remaked trilogy game from my childhood that I enjoyed very much so. Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, still excellent, and it looked great. Actually felt great to play. Spyro 3 was the game that I was least familiar with, and I actually got to play that for the first time in my life, and then that one was fine. And Spyro 1 was great as well. But yeah, the trilogy was great. They did a really good job. It looked great. Still played just like I remember it, and the updated visuals were nice. But it was really just good to kind of play back, get that nostalgia bite in me. Nostalgia bite in me. Number 6, Kingdom Hearts 3. Fuck, dude. Remember how that game came out this year? Kingdom Hearts 3, number 6. It was a fine game, and I'm glad it came out. It still ends up only being the 3rd, 4th, or 5th favorite game of mine in that series, though, now that I've had some time to distance from it. The DLC is coming out next month, apparently. I think it looks interesting, and I'm excited for that. But as far as a core game, I had a lot of thoughts I could spend probably hours on, but that's not the point of this video. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 was fine, and I had a fun time with it, and I was really looking forward to it. And at the end of it, I was like, I'm glad this came out, and I'm glad we got it. On to the next game. Hopefully it is good. I'm gonna try to... Let me see if I can change arm. There we go. Here. Let me see. Can I do this? Can I do this? That's fine. Okay. So yeah, controversial maybe. So as big of a Kingdom Hearts fan as I am, I'm putting Kingdom Hearts 3 at 6. It's fine. Let's see that DLC next month. 5, another game that didn't come out this year. Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. Big year for mobile for me because I hate playing games on my phone. But Pokemon Go, a game I didn't play since 2016, the year it originally came out. Picked it up now 3 years later and was excited to see that it wasn't just a bunch of catching Caterpies and Pidgeys that I was used to. Because that's all I did in 2016, I felt like. It was just a Caterpie, Pidgey. And you're like, man, I had a good day of catching 10 Pidgeys and 7 Caterpies. And then you'd evolve them and you're like, great. I put it down after a while back in 2016. Now we're back in 2019. Picked it up, played alongside my brother. And we both picked it back up. And it was cool playing that. Lots of new additions. It's now a game that I'll at least open up like once a day, at least. And so that's really cool. And it's been fun. And I don't play main game Pokemon games anymore. I've always said, like, for the past several years that anything that would get me interested in Pokemon is going to be side games and stuff because I don't have the time or the want, really, to play main games. But Pokemon Go was really cool. And all the additions that I got to this year, even though they weren't new this year, but I saw them for the first time. Obviously, new Pokemon, gyms, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Very cool. I like it. Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go, number 5. Also, my mom started playing it, and she doesn't know anything about Pokemon. And just hearing anything she tells me about it is wholesome as shit. And so anything that does that also gets boosted on my list. Hopefully this doesn't get so shaky because I'm just holding my arm. Arm endurance. Number 4, Sayonara Wild Hearts. I know I had Apple Arcade as a list, or honorable mention, but Sayonara Wild Hearts, something that stands out enough to me. I did play it on the Apple Arcade platform. But Sayonara Wild Hearts, something I was wanting. I remember when I first saw the trailer, like announcement trailer for that, being like, that is my jam. I only got around to playing it this past week, interestingly enough, because I just dragged my feet on it. But it's something that I had been listening to the soundtrack on Spotify a lot more frequently, many times over, before I actually got around to playing the game, which was funny. The soundtrack is great if you just want to listen to great like pop music, honestly. But then I got around to actually playing it, and Sayonara Wild Hearts is great. The playing it, touch controls was not great. My only complaint of it was going to be that playing it sometimes didn't feel great. Even when you set the sensitivity on high for the touch, it just didn't feel great to me. Then my dumbass remembered that you can do pair a controller to the iPhone. And so I did that, replayed it again with the controller, and it felt amazing. Less game than audio visual treat, but it was great. I loved it. It was everything I wanted in a tight little small game, and I ended up playing through it twice. And I could totally see myself, if I wanted to like just sit and listen to the album, literally just boot up the game and play it like that and listen to the whole album. And that's dope. It's a cool concept. Also, it looks great and obviously sounds great. And the whole time, the whole game, I was like, that narrator sounds really familiar. And then at the end, it's like, it's Queen Latifah. And I'm like, oh, Queen Latifah. So that was funny. That was a good moment from it. Number 3, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Another game I only just recently finished. Bloodstained was great. I've said it before. First, last, and only game I've ever backed on Kickstarter. Finally came to fruition. Looked like that game was in development hell, and frankly was looking rough. Many trade shows it was appeared at, and it's like, oh, at best this is going to be a decent game at best. But ended up being really great, and a great Symphony of the Night kind of clone. Gonna give my arm just a minute rest here. Okay. Oh, this is awkward though, looking. So Bloodstained, kooky, kind of weird. Great though, lots of fun. The weirdness wasn't too much, and actually it was fun. The biggest complaint I have is that it tries to do too much at once. It's like, here's shards and items and moves and techniques, and RPG and leveling and familiars and more shards and items and crafting of food and quests, and it's a bit too much at some points, but other than that, it's really fun. The ending was kind of weird and whatever, but the it was an overall a great experience, and for how bad it looked like it was gonna be, uh, it ended up turning out really well, and I applaud them for that because I was really afraid it was going to be a Mighty Number Nine situation, and then it ended up just being a decent Symphony of the Night type game, and it looked great. It was fine. That's all I have to say about that. Number two, another game that didn't obviously come out this year, but I had a great time playing from start to finish. Have put many hours in. It's Yakuza 0. I'm so glad I gave myself a shot at the game in the series. Uh, very fun. It's an open world game that I had a lot of fun in, and it's like the amount of fun I had in it and the type of fun I had in it is always what I felt like I should have had in Grand Theft Auto games, but never had. Like, I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto fan. Those games are what they are, and I've never been able to attach myself to them for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe those are too open world. If that makes sense, I don't know. But Yakuza 0, and as a series, I mean, I've only played Yakuza 0, but it was great. Lots of things to do. Lots of little sub stories that you were in and out of, and so you could get a taste of a character that they were doing in a sub story, and then you're out, and you're like, all right, I'm not dwelling on something, and then I could go back to the main story. I loved the the criminal Yakuza family drama aspect of the main story as well. Like, that actually interested me, amazingly enough. It was just great. I loved the main characters. Kiryu's great. Majima is just a little better. But they're both great characters as well. The side stuff is great. Like this, there was only maybe like one or two side mission things where I'm like, oh, this sucks. But like, even the side stuff, you're like, oh, I could just easily avoid this if that was, whatever. But I gotta say, Yakuza 0 was great. I ended up, like I said, played it all throughout this year, slowly. Many hours put into it. And I'm super excited to play Yakuza Kiwami sometime next year, in 2020. It'll probably end up being where I play like a Yakuza game once a year, is what I feel like. That's what this series is like. Is like, I feel like I could just play a Yakuza game once a year and be like, that's as much Yakuza as I want. But enough about that. Number one, and I hate to say it, I hate it. I was thinking about it, the order of what I was gonna do. Number one's Death Stranding. Is it possible to love a game that could be in very many aspects bad? I'm admitting is bad at some points and at some things, and understand everyone's faults and the flaws of the game, and everyone's complaints about the game, and my own complaints with the game, and be like, but I still really loved playing this game for some reason, even though I feel like I shouldn't have. And that was the one thing when I finished the game, I was like, am I weird for liking it? Because it was so divisive in people liking it and people not liking it. And like, I understood both sides. And then I came out. And I finished it way after a lot of people did, because I was so slow with it. To get the final credits, it was like a total of like 82 hours or so. It's a lot of hours into Death Stranding for sure. But I had so much fun. I know it's kooky, it's weird. It was both abstract in its vocabulary, like naming of things, like that was one of its most annoying things, and I think something Kojima might just do. I should also say I'm not a big Metal Gear guy. I never played Metal Gear ever, so there's that, if that changes anything. But it's abstract in some things, and then very hammer home, like this is this in other aspects, which I think is annoying to some people. But I also feel like, as someone who loves Kingdom Hearts, that also does shit like that, where it's just like, oh, here's this, and this, but here's this abstract idea, and we're just gonna build some lore upon this stupid abstract thing, and you just gotta accept it and go along for the ride. Like I'm used to that. Um, but I love Death Stranding. I loved every hour I put into it. I have obviously complaints about it, and it was weird for sure, and frustrating and annoying at some points. But after I thought about it, still to this day, I'm like, that is my favorite gaming experience of the year. Even though I probably would admit that's not the best game of the year that I even played. I could sit here and say Yakuza 0 was a better game, but my favorite gaming experience of the year came from Death Stranding. And it's 82 hours of mostly nonsense. So that's it. That's the list. I did it. Jesus, this is about 21 minutes long. I didn't actually have like a script or anything, as you could tell. Uh, and also, we're going to see how shaky this ends up being. It's probably a little shaky, so I apologize. But I just wanted to put myself out there. And then, like I said, I enjoy lists, but also the idea of just wrapping up something you did over the course of a year. So that is it. 2019 top 10 with two mentions at the beginning gaming experiences of the year. Goodbye.